Kitec plumbing. What is it? How can you identify it? How much does it cost to replace? And should you let it affect your decision to buy a home? Well, if you're curious, then you came to the right place, because in this video, we are going to answer all of these questions about Kitec plumbing. Before we get into things, if you get any sort of value out of this video, please consider dropping a like and subscribing to our channel. And now let's get right into it. So what is Kitec plumbing? Kitec plumbing is a type of plastic plumbing that was commonly used from 1995 to 2007, and it was prone to spontaneously burst, which is not ideal when we're talking about plumbing in your home. It was originally installed because it was believed to be a cheaper and more efficient alternative to copper plumbing, but obviously there were some downsides to it. Now, not to get too into the science of why these pipes actually burst, but basically Kitec was made up of 2 layers of plastic piping with aluminum in between, and they had brass fittings. Now, these brass fittings had very high levels of zinc in them, and when exposed to water as well as oxygen and different temperatures of water over time, they would build up and corrode, and ultimately the pipes and fittings would burst. Now, there's been a number of class action lawsuits for Kitec plumbing and millions of dollars paid out, but the first one was in 2005, which suggests that Kitec plumbing has a rough lifespan of about 10 years. That being said, we've seen condos and homes that have had Kitec for a lot longer, but the longer it's sitting in a home and being used for water, the more likely it is to burst. Now, how can you identify Kitec plumbing? Well, there's a couple of visual cues which help. The first is Kitec plumbing uses blue and orange piping as seen on the screen here. Not to be mistaken with PEX piping, which is totally fine to use, which typically uses blue and red or blue and white plumbing, but Kitec typically used blue and orange plumbing. Blue is for the cold water, orange was for the hot water. Now, you can also identify by looking at the pipe if it has any sort of writing on it. So there were certain manufacturers that made Kitec. So up on the screen here is the manufacturers that made it. So if you have blue and orange piping in your home or a home you're considering purchasing, and it has any of these manufacturers listed on it, there is a high chance or likelihood that it is Kitec plumbing. Now, if you're in a condo or considering buying a condo, another way to identify if there's Kitec plumbing is through the status certificate. This is something that can be purchased through the Condo Corp, and it will identify if there is Kitec or was Kitec used in the building. And finally, you could also get a professional in, not just a plumbing professional, but a Kitec specialist to look at either your home or a home that you're considering purchasing to identify if there is Kitec, and also give you quotes on how much it would cost to replace. Now, how much does Kitec cost to replace? Well, we've had a number of clients do this over the years. Typically, they've been in condos. So when you're looking at a 1-bedroom condo, you're seeing replacement costs anywhere from $4,000 to $5,000 for all of the plumbing. And when you're in a 2-bedroom condo or a larger condo, we've seen these prices roughly $8,000 to $10,000. Now, I know these seem sort of steep when you're talking about a condo, but keep in mind they have to open the walls and rip all of the plumbing out, replace it, and then repair all of the spots that they've opened. And finally, should you let Kitec plumbing affect your decision to purchase a property? I would say no, but you do need to understand what it is, what the risks are, and how much it costs to replace for that specific property. And if you're evaluating all of this in your decision making, then I think you're able to make a smart and educated decision. Now, that's it for this video. We hope by now that you are Kitec experts. If you have any other questions, whether it comes to Kitec or real estate in general, let us know down below, and we'll talk to you soon. See ya.